To create a route in FSCharter, navigate to the operations cockpit and go to the route lens. You can toggle this by pressing number 5 on your keyboard. In this company, we already have a selection of routes. We're going to add a new one today. The way to do this is to press the white button up in the top corner that says Create a Route. It's in the top of the dock. Once you press this, a new menu appears. Type in your route number. This can be any selection of 1 to 5 numbers or letters. You can only have one letter and it must be at the end. The routes will always be prefixed by the company name, in this case ALE, and then an R to indicate that it's route. In this case, we're going to choose 9954A. We want to go from Munich, so we're going to type in EDDM, and we're going to go to Shannon, so that's EINN. I could alternatively use the binoculars to find an airport if I don't know what it's called. The first thing to do is to check how much demand I have when I charge nothing. So we press Get Demand Preview. We can see 2 first class, 15 business, and 11 economy. That's not a very large amount of passengers, but that does increase the more you add into your network. There'll be a separate video about network increased demand later. So the first thing to do is to pick a number. Based on this route length, I'm going to start at 50. I press Get Demand Preview, and I still have 11 passengers. We try 100. I still have 11. 150. 200. Now it's dropped. So I know that between 150 and 200 is the price that they're willing to pay. So we try the middle point, 175. That's still 11. I can go up. So we'll go up by 10. 185. And that's 4. So we go back down. That's 7. So 175 is the best price. I will now repeat this for the first and business. I now have all the prices with the maximum number of passengers on this route. A good starting point when moving from economy to business is to double the economy price and use that as your starting figure. The same with first class, double the business price and use that. If you decide you don't want to take any of a particular class of passenger, you can also just outprice them. If I was to set 99,999 for the first class ticket, I would never have any first class passengers on this flight. Now that the flight has been prepared, I press Create, confirm in the box, and the new flight has been created. I can see it has 28, but I can also refresh, and it's still 28. Now I can make a return route, so I'm going to make a return route with the same code, so it's going to be 9954, but B. I want to do EINN, EDDM, and get the demand. You can see there's a substantial amount more passengers wanting to come back. That's because of the network that it's attached to, and like I said, that will be explained in a separate video. I will quickly go through and get the pricing for these. I now have the prices for this flight as well. However, on this flight, I want to set a route minimum. So I want to make sure I always have 2 first class passengers, 6 business class, and 30 economy. You can see that as I enter the minimums, this value here changes. If we click this, it brings up the information about the pricing, and it explains how the ticket pricing works. I can press the X to dismiss. So with these minimums and nothing else, this route would make 8.05k in revenue. I will create this route. If I want to edit any route that I've already created, I can go to the route in the dock, click on Settings, and I can adjust the route number, the minimums, the price, and I can refresh the demand to see how it works. If I cancel and go back to the same route, I can also see how many people have flown it. I can disable the route, which doesn't delete, but just disables. I can see which aircraft are available, currently no aircraft are available because the job requires 150 economy seats, but the aircraft only has 42. This one has enough seats, but it is not in range of the airport to do the job. There's also the test constraints. This is useful for debugging why your routes might not be appearing in the marketplace. To delete a route, click on any route you've created, go to Settings, and in here you can delete the route. When you press delete, a confirmation button will appear. If you press delete, it will now disappear.